Hello people, it's your boy Osman back again with another video. This time we're talking about Manchester United's game against Hull, and finally we are back with the Premier League games. It's been a long wait. I think it's been like 10 days. 10 days too long. But yeah, I'm happy that we're back in the Premier League and we can come back and talk about, collecting those points and bridging the gap against the teams above us. Hopefully this is an opportunity for us to obviously capitalise on some of the other fixtures that will be coming up in the next few games. I believe we do have an opportunity here against Hull to, make some sort of ground against Liverpool. I know they have an opportunity to win the game, but I'm hoping that at home Chelsea would be too strong for them. But anyways, let's talk about United. And first things first, we obviously had that game against Hull last week. Unfortunately, we got outplayed. But yeah, no, seriously, I hope the players have learned from that lesson and, don't go into this game with the same naivety that they did last week. Because last week, with, even me as a fan, I felt like we're definitely winning this game. And sometimes you just take these things for granted in the Premier League. You think, oh, we're playing against a team that's in the relegation scrap, easy 3 points, but obviously in the cup situation, easy route to the final, so to speak. And they just turn up and they shock you. And it's important that the players, from the minute go are on top of Hull and do not allow them to settle in the way we did last week. There's no need to build that sort of anxiety and tension within the atmosphere, and just get in their faces from minute one. Let's get the players running in behind. Let's have a bit of pace on the wings, and let's just threaten them from the start. Like we always do in the second half. Let's just start the way we do in the second half, and we'll be absolutely fine this game. I've got no worries in that sense. But yeah, it's important that we take Hull important as an opposition, because like I said last week, we were just too confident and we didn't even show up. So we have no opportunities here to lose points, and we need to really capitalise on the other teams with hard fixtures. Okay, so first things first, what I do want to say is the game against Hull last time, especially in the first half, there was no movement off the ball, and that's one thing that I really hope Jose does address. And what I will say is we need two out and out wingers this time. I don't want to see Mata playing on the right or Rooney on the left, for example. Nothing against them two players, at all, but they're not wingers for me. We need out and out wingers who are going to run in behind, stretch the play, get the defenders running back towards their own goal. Because let's be honest, Hull are going to come and park the bus. They're not going to come in and play toe to toe against Man United. They know that we're going to be too strong for them. We're going to be ready to go this game after what happened last week. So there's no way in a million years they're going to come toe to toe against us. So against a team that's parking the bus or having a lot of people behind the ball, we're going to have a lot of possession of the ball. So it's important that when we do have possession of the ball, there's two things that happen. The first thing is that the ball is being moved quickly. It's important that we do not allow their defenders to settle. So once you are switching the play, so the most known switch of play is Pogba hitting it to Valencia on the right, from the left to the right, wherever. Once you're doing that quickly, we need to, make sure we don't allow them to settle. A lot of the times, what I've seen recently, in particular, this happens a lot with Valencia. So Pogba will get the ball, he takes too many touches, and by the time he's taking his touches, the opportunity to hit the pass is gone, or the defenders they've settled. So even if he does hit that pass, they're ready for it, if that makes sense. So they're ready to adjust to the switch of play. So what I want to see from Pogba in particular, and Valencia for that matter, when Pogba does hit that ball to Valencia, he needs to make a decision quickly. Either beat his man, get the ball in, or release the ball. A lot of the time, Valencia just keeps the ball for too long, and it does allow them to, settle down and just get back in positions. That's one thing we can't allow them to do, because they're going to park the bus. We need, the ball to be moved quickly, and we need that fluidity, in the front three. The movement is a second aspect of what I was about to say. So the two things, first thing, the ball needs to be moved quickly, and the second thing is the players need to be making a lot of moves off the ball. There needs to be a lot of interchange of players, be it the front three, the midfield, the number 10, so to speak, getting involved as well. You need to keep changing positions so it doesn't become predictable for them to defend, and also it's difficult for them to track runs as well. We need Herrera or Pogba, for example, making that last man run into into the box, so like basically what Lampard used to do for Chelsea. We need all of our players to be getting involved going forward, because at the end of the day, we're not scoring enough goals, and that has been our problem. We have created chances, but at the same time, we're not committing enough people forward. And against a team like Hull at home, I feel like we need to be, overloading their box with players, put them under pressure from the first minute. They're coming to the theatre of dreams, mate. Let's not make it easy for them. Let's, put them on the back foot from day one, and let's just flipping go as we mean to flipping win the game, because I don't want to see this happening every week. In the first half we start ridiculously slow, and then the second half we pick you up. Yes, I'm happy we pick you up in the second half, but it's just not good enough. Like, at the end of the day, it just breeds like that sort of anxiety in the atmosphere. Like, at the end of the day, the longer Hull are in the game, the more confident they're gonna get in the game. We saw it last week. They seemed to get more confident as the minutes were going on, because they thought, no, we can actually get something out of this game. Man United not really causing us any problems, and we don't want that to happen this time. I want to make sure. Sorry, I want to know that Jose makes sure that the players come out guns blazing. Let's get them pegged back from the first minute, and I'm sure we'll beat them comfortably in the end. Okay, so that all aside, let's talk about our lineup, and then we'll go into the opposition. So first things first, David De Gea in there, no brainer. Valencia right back, he's had a rest. Let's get him back. He's a flipping tank. Centre backs, Rojo and Jones. Just get them, just get them playing together. I think Bailey might have went off injured anyways. I would have played him, but I don't think he's fit. And Smalling just played. Left back, I think Jose is going to go for Darmian. I don't think Shaw will play another game, given, the fact that he's just played. And he just doesn't like Blin. Personally, I would choose Blin, but I think Jose will go for Darmian. Okay, so moving on to the midfield three. He does have two options here. It just depends how attacking wants to go. So the obvious option is Carrick, Pogba, Herrera, and that for me, I'd be happy with that. But we are home against Hull, and we do have that game against Leicester next week, so I could see Jose potentially resting Carrick and putting Mata in there. So I can see Pogba, Herrera, and Mata playing. Either of them, two combinations I would not be opposed to, as long as Fellaini does not play. I know he scored, but Fellaini does not move the ball quick enough for us to be playing centre mid, and that's one of the issues that we had in the previous couple of games. Like I said, the most important thing against a team that's parking the bus is you need to move the ball quickly. You can't allow them to settle into positions. The front three for me has to be Mkhitaryan, Zlatan, and Martial. Martial for me has done more than enough, to justify his start. Jose said to me, if you play good against Wigan and you're playing against Hull, and for me it'd be harsh if he doesn't play it, given the fact that he said that. So yeah, like I said, with the team, got pace, got width, get the players running in behind, creating those pockets of space for whoever's playing in number 10, be it Mata or Pogba. Yeah, just getting the defenders running back towards an own goal. Wigan was a perfect example of the way we should be playing football in the second half in particular. Obviously not the first half, that was shocking. But the second half, what we did perfectly in the second half was we had a lot of runners running in behind. And I can't stress this enough. Like, as a coach myself, you don't understand how much of an impact it has. I'll give you an example here. So let's just say we've got Zlatan, Mkhitaryan and Martial. Let's just say, we've got Mkhitaryan running in behind. So if he runs in behind, the fullback has to follow him. Otherwise, obviously, he's going to get played in on goal sort of thing. So if Mkhitaryan runs in behind and just say Herrera plays the ball in like he did against Spurs, and the fullback follows him, he doesn't necessarily have to touch the ball. So the ball doesn't have to be played to Mkhitaryan. So what that does, it creates space for the likes of Zlatan, Pogba, the other players that are in and around that area, to just get a bit of space. So if Mkhitaryan stretches the play, Zlatan can come and fill that sort of space that he's taking, and it'll just give him a bit more space on the ball to turn or do whatever he wants. And there's one thing that you learn as a coach when you start studying the game of football, is that you don't have to touch the ball to impact the game, and that's something that we haven't done enough of. Our players haven't been making those sacrificing runs in behind, creating space for other players like Pogba, etc. And it happened a lot against Liverpool. We weren't stretching the play enough, which was the reason Pogba and Herrera and Carrick didn't have enough time on the ball. I know Liverpool were pressing us really well, but the thing was, if we were pushing them further back and getting people running in behind, it would have allowed Pogba to have more space, because their midfielders would have had to push back to cover the space between the defenders and our striker, if that makes sense. So for example, if we're pushing the defenders back, their midfielder have to go back as well, because they have to sort of close down the space that has been made. When you see pundits talking, and like for example, when you see them talking about number 10s in particular, like Ozil, David Silva, Mata, for us, they always talk about finding space in the pockets, and this is what I'm referring to. The pocket is the bit between the midfield and the defence, and that's the only way you can create that space is by the wingers such as Martial and Mkhitaryan pushing the fullbacks back and just sacrificing themselves, so to speak, for other players to get into that space. Yeah, and that's what it's all about, really. If we do that this game, I think we'll have a lot of joy, because they couldn't cope with us. In a couple other games we played early in the season against them, when we was actually interchanging play quickly. Let's just quickly talk about the opposition. We know who Hull are. We played them last week. The manager seems like he knows what he's doing, and he has got a couple of players in there that are willing to play for him and fight for him. Unlike, I'm pretty sure Paul Merson is pretty disappointed because he said he's going to flop. Yes, they got hammered against Fulham. However, I think he's done a pretty decent job given his extreme circumstances. So the main threats for Hull are obviously the strikers. I can't even remember his name. Is it? I messed the name up last time as well. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing it, but the guy who scored past us, he seems like he's got a bit of talent about him. And to be fair, their overall play against us was quite good. They did rip us apart for the second goal, so we are more than aware of their players and what they're capable of. But I really hope Jose drills it into the players that we need to first of all rectify that abysmal performance against them last week, and we do need to obviously point in a performance this week to for the fans, really, to be honest with you, because it was actually embarrassing. We're lucky we got through, because if we didn't get through against Hull last week with that level of performance as well, that would have been such a disaster. But yeah, so last week I feel like we were naive against them and kind of underestimated them as an opposition, but this time we definitely know what they're capable of, and I don't think we're going to underestimate them, and I think we will absolutely hammer them and go full guns blazing against them. Well, that's me hoping, and I'm also hoping that we take our chances. Please just come out the box firing and just take your chances, boys. Let's not create that tension in the air, or that that negative atmosphere going into half time because we haven't scored, or we've just bottled chances, or anything along those lines that we have done in the last few games. Let's come out firing. Let's get them pegged back from minute one. Let's get people running in behind. Let's get people interchanging positions. Let's get movement obviously off the ball, like I said, sacrificing runs, creating space for other players to dictate play. And what I was going to say, what we did well against Wigan in the second half in particular was getting that bit of space for Mkhitaryan in particular, who was getting in those little pockets, what I was referring to, and he was just driving at the Wigan defence, and that's what we need. We need our players such as Martial's last time, we need them to be pushing their defenders as far back as we can, just to allow other players to get involved in the game, and it's important that we do that this game. So my prediction for this game, Manchester United 3, Hull 0. I'm going for a clean sheet, nice comfortable win. I'm confident that we're going to score earlier. We're going to just go on obviously absolutely hammer them. Well, that's not really a hammering, is it? But win comfortably. It's been your boy Usman. I'm just going to leave it there because there's not much else to obviously say. I just hope that Jose does learn from his mistakes. So as I was saying, it's your boy Usman. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I will be uploading a reaction video tomorrow after the game, and I will be uploading a Premier League roundup. Also, let's hope we got a couple of upsets again. It's always good to take piss out of the team. But that all aside, feel free to subscribe because I do upload quite regularly. Like, share, and all that good stuff. I appreciate all the feedback and the comments. Thank you very much. And let's get the 3 points. Come on, United! Peace!